Gary Slyman, President and Founder of Great Transition Strategies. Today's topic, continuing on leadership, remote leadership, and specifically working on culture. What's the culture of your organization, your team? State what you think it is. If you asked everyone on your team what the culture is, would they say the same thing? How many folks would be significantly different? There might be some. One of the complaints you hear about the remote workplace is, well, we don't have the culture, or you can't create the culture you want. I think you can, and I've actually seen some folks do it and do it extremely well. And here are the concepts that I think you need to consider. Well, so think about what was the best culture. Think about the place, the team you've been on that had the best culture that you really loved being there. What were the elements? I think the elements come from these four things, the elements that make it happen. One, the culture was deliberate. This is what we want the culture to be. That's one. Two, interactions. There were plenty of time to interact socially, plenty of time to interact in meetings, so that way, plenty of interaction so people got to know each other and build those trusting relationships we talked about in the first video. Next, time and space. There's time and space to get to know each other. It's not all business. Things are not run meeting agenda. There's time built in so interactions can happen. So there's interactions can happen. Time and space so folks know each other and they can build that cognitive trust and they can build that emotional trust with individuals. The last one, no one should feel remote. Everyone should feel like they're drawn in. Reduce the space on the team. So, be deliberate. In being deliberate, this is, you state as the leader, this is the culture we're going to have, and then model it and cultivate it. Say what you want it to be, because if you don't say it, a culture is going to develop, and you might not be happy with what comes. So be deliberate, set it, model it, cultivate it. Do what you need to cultivate. Give folks the resources, give folks everything they need. Next, interactions. You might set meetings, virtual meetings, but do you start from the beginning and is it all agenda driven, or do you create some time and space in there for folks to interact, check in? Remember, what you're missing now, if you're doing it remotely, you don't have that hallway time. You don't have times where you're running into each other. Can you create the time and space so folks can run into each other and have those maybe chance meetings, maybe not chance meetings? One organization that an individual I'm working with, they created some time where you can come in the morning and they just have the video is on. They have they're using Zoom actually. They come into a Zoom room and folks can just check in. Hey, what's going on? How are you today? So people can get a chance to see each other. And some do it, build it into meetings. Ways to do it. What works for your organization? So time and space. Are you creating the time and space for folks to have those interactions? Last, reduce the distance between people. No one should feel remote. And I'll tell you, I was coaching someone who said the culture they have in their new remote workplace, she likes a lot better. She said she actually felt remote when she was in person because people would ignore her. She's kind of quiet. Now, her boss, her team lead, is making sure those folks that dominate are not dominating, that everyone has time to speak, and she's being called on more. Hey, what do you have to say? We haven't heard inputs. And folks are getting more input because it's very visible who's not. Where in person, it was a little bit harder. The boss was not managing it as well. So there's opportunities to make sure you reduce the distance, make sure people are involved the way they need to be involved, and reach out to them on a regular basis. Understand their situation in the remote environment. So think about what you're doing right now. If you're hybrid or in remote, how are you following these principles? Have you deliberately set the culture you want? Have you set it? Are you modeling it? Set it, modeling it, and are you cultivating it? Are you creating the opportunity for plenty of interaction so people can get to know each other? Where do you put that time and space? Is it intentionally in meetings? Is it just hallway time that you're creating? Virtually maybe? What are you doing about birthdays, those kind of things? What are you doing about time and space? Lastly, don't reduce the space. Don't make people feel remote. Reach out to them. Equal time for folks. Plenty of time for people to talk when they need to talk so they're being seen. Reduce the distance so no one feels remote. Thanks for listening. Hope you found that helpful. I look forward to an opportunity to work with you. Give me a call for a complimentary coaching session. Have a great day.